All right, folks, welcome back. It's the 3rd of March. It's about 34 degrees. We hit about 35 today. It's about 5:45 p.m., so of course we're on the decline on temperature. But I'll tell you what, it's just absolutely amazing. The snow loss, it's settling, and then of course you're going to get the muck. The yards are starting to get a little mucky. It's not too bad yet because, you know, underneath is still nice and frozen. But unbelievable. We are scheduled to hit 50 degrees. 50 degrees Monday of next week. Unbelievable. Anyway. There is a little scare that goes with this. This is all positive. Number one, of course, the scare of a large blast here in the month of March yet, or of course in the beginning of April. We always get them. Big blast of snow, that's okay. But the biggest scare right now, of course, we're still in winter. This is the latter part of it, but we're in winter. The biggest scare is alfalfa. Not only in general, but of course I put all that new seeding in last year. One of the biggest scares here is all this big meltdown. You get your lower pockets in your fields, or of course even if you have a flatter than a pancake field, you're still going to get some water settle. The fear, which is going to happen, is of course that water freezing up and you got yourself a little ice rink out there. That plays hell on alfalfa. But whatever, you know, stay positive. This is just unbelievable. On a good note here, starting yesterday, I went full force into the corn planter, and wow, am I getting an education. We're not going to talk about it on this video here, which needs to be short because I've got a lot of things going on here yet before she gets real dark. But yeah, I'm gaining an education. We'll do a different video reserved solely for the corn planter. I'll show you what I've been doing. I've been kind of tweaking everything according to the manual, which of course I have no choice but to believe in. Of course, there'll probably be some tweaking after I start planting. We'll see what happens. Different sprockets, changing, you know, the chain on different sprockets for population. I'll share with you what I'm doing for population based on somewhat of normalcy around here, and I'm throwing in a couple of my 2 cents. You know, I'm going to play know-it-all here, and there seems to be a very popular change concerning what's normal around here on seed population, especially for corn silage. I'll share you all my information here on a different video yet to come. But this video is reserved for Christmas has come early. The very first thing that I need to do here before I go any further, I should have done this the very first second, is throw a nice big shout out and another big pat on the back and a big thank you to Will Sowers, Sowers Cattle Company, YouTube channel name Sowers Cattle Co. Once again, I was able to reach out to Will. And Will, if you actually even catch this, if you're getting really tired of me reaching out to you, one of these days, just say it. I meant to get this whole setup last year. Time got away from me and a bunch of other excuses. Hell with it, I'll just do it the following year. Well, that year is now. So anyway, I started doing some research on my own. What's good for me, why, what, when, where, how. And I was able to reach out to Will for a little bit of his 2 cents and information, and gave me some very good information on what would fit this farm better versus his hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of head that you know, they have to tend to. That's not the same story here. So of course, I opted for the rifle option. I'm not looking to win a beauty contest, so of course I didn't go with the blue barreled. It's nice. I'm happy with it, and yes, I have used it already. We'll talk about that. I opted to go everything disposable. Reason being is there's not going to be enough treatments here that merit, you know, a long-term use ordeal. Darts and everything else are CO2. Those CO2 cartridges will bleed out. I mean, I hope I don't have to use it that often, and I won't. But I opted to go everything disposable for all the right reasons, and I'm starting to gain a pretty good education. Now, I said this isn't a CO2 operated. This is obviously the other route is the 22 loads. These here are the 3-inch needles needed to take your treatment out of your bottle, whatever you use. I'm a NuFloor guy, and I'm going to talk about that too. That's what's used to take your treatment out of your bottle. And actually, that needle is small enough to inject into the dart needle. And then you put one of these red caps on it, and it stays on there. In fact, you shoot it with that red cap on there. I think you can see those. Then, of course, it pierces that cap. The cap comes down to here and all as well. So, it was about 2 days before I got this set up. Cow number 173. 173, who had the horrendous hoof rot problem last year. It flared up, started again. This could not have come at a better time. So anyway, I got this on, let's just say, it was a Saturday, whatever, doesn't matter. And anyway, she just got her second treatment of NuFloor, which was, it's 12 mils at a crack, split up. This is our rule, on 48 hours per treatment. And she's doing just wonderful. I'd have to say she's about 75%. So in a case like that, this is your 12 mil, 12 cc, whatever you want to say, needle. And it works pretty good, but we're going to talk about some flaws here. And then, of course, for treating calves, you get a young enough calf under 100 pounds, I'm going to wrestle that son of a gun myself and give it a treatment, you know, with myself. You get a calf about 150 pounds plus. I also have some 5 mil needles. So we're going to talk about that bottle as well. So anyway, yeah, I learned a few lessons here. Number one, and I'll always say this farm here, for us, because my checkbook doesn't say Draxxin or Zactrin on it, okay? It just doesn't. But let's forget about that stuff. NuFloor is this farm's wonder drug. NuFloor is thick as pea soup. And I've been warned about this, and Will even talked about that a little bit. You know, what do you use? How thick is it? You got to watch that. You got to warm it up. And I tell you what, not only was he correct, but I had to double down on that. I learned my first lesson on Monday when I gave the first treatment to 173. I warmed up the bottle of NuFloor just to get the treatment out of it with those small needles. I mean, you could sit there with a 16 gauge for a minute just trying to fill it up. But anyway, I warmed up the bottle. And of course, you know, we've got cooler temperatures, and it's, you know, it's nothing above 45 degrees in the milk house. Warmed up the bottle, got my treatment out of there, filled up the dart gun, filled up the dart with 12 mils, put the cap on it, and then I simply put it underneath my t-shirt just to keep some body temperature warmth on it. And it was nice and warm. Wasn't enough. I ended up, that first treatment, only 6 mils went in, and it was the thickness of the NuFloor. And I'm sure there's other stuff out there that's maybe just as thick. I don't know. It's something to watch for, though. I ended up having to, yet again, you know, recharge and everything else, and unfortunately give her another shot by dart gun and finish off those other 6 mils. As it turns out, these disposables can actually be used one more time. You just got to clean it up. You got to take that red little rubber, I'm going to call it a red rubber tip, off of there. Put another one on, and it worked. It really did work. So anyway, I learned a couple lessons on Monday. For today's second treatment for 173, what I did is, of course, I filled up the dart. The treatment was warmed up before I did so. And then what I did is, you know, I'm not much of a bicyclist or a mountain climber or a hiker. So I think it's okay that I'm using my company water bottle. It's absolutely beautiful, actually. This gets filled up with nice lukewarm water. I would highly advise, and I don't hardly know what I'm talking about here, you might want to watch that scalding water. I can only assume that might mess with the integrity or the, you know, whatever the treatment that you're using. So nice, good, lukewarm water gets put into this, this little bottle here, and then this son of a gun just gets set right inside. Folks, it absolutely worked perfect. I threw it in the Ranger beer holder, cup holder, whatever you want to call it. Went on out there, and it was flawless. It just, I'm very happy about it, but there's a big lesson learned here. I just got this, just started using it. I got to watch my language here. I don't have all the answers. She's starting to chill down. But I can tell you this. When you go to order these darts, I opted to go with the grit blasted with the collar. You might be able to see this, maybe not. I don't know, folks. Do you see that? I can't even see in the screen here. Do you see that little collar on the needle? I'm telling you right now, you know, by all means, get the capture darts, you know, the fit the capture gun. For me, I will never get a collared needle again, because the son of a buck stays in there. Monday's treatment to 173, she was in such bad shape. Now, I mean, I had to juke and jive a little bit, but I was able to get, I pulled the dart out of her just in the nick of time, and she meandered off. After waiting about 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes for that dart to fall out. Today, she's a hell of a lot better, but she needed to get that second treatment. Today, I waited 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 minutes. I even chased her around a little bit respectfully. That thing wasn't falling out. I'm like, all right, I hate the fact that it's going to fall out and it's going to lay around in the cow yard, but whatever. What else am I going to do? I had some other stuff going on here today that needed to be, you know, get done. So I opted just to leave her alone, leave it alone, come back out for night chores feeding, which I had to do a mineral ration feeding tonight, and the damn thing was still in her. I'm a little ashamed about that, and I'm pretty. It's not the end of the world, but I'm a little pissed off about it. That just shouldn't be. Good lesson learned though, and I hope one person out of whoever watches this takes this in, because it's going to save your damn day. Right now I've got 15 darts of 12 mil in the milk house. I've got 15 darts of 5 mil in the milk house, and they all got collars on them. Well, the research I did, and of course I got everything through Valley Vet. I love Valley Vet. They are stellar in my experience. In reading the literature underneath all these darts and all the options, it had said anybody new to this game, for the lack of better words, we suggest the collared needles. I'm telling you right now, don't do it. That damn dart stayed in her for 5 hours. And I can almost assure you it's possible that dart would be in her tomorrow morning. Now I was able to play a little trick there. I kind of caught her when she was I'm not going to say sleeping, but she was relaxed. I was just able to grab that dart out of her, and she's doing fantastic. I know I'm painting a bad picture here. I'm telling you right now, don't buy the colored needles, in my experience. That's about it, folks. I got to tell you, I'm pretty happy about this. You know, if you want to gain a better education and a showing on this setup, capture material in general, the gun, the darts, everything else, I highly suggest you go check out Will Sowers, Sowers Cattle Co. at YouTube. He gives a hell of a lot better explanation, a good showing, and a better video, not to mention a real-time video of actually a treatment. But I'm satisfied. I'm very happy. You know, the reason I picked this stuff up is, well, number one, the herd's growing. Number two, you know, you get me in the summer when I'm running ragged. You know, an hour, a half hour is everything. Everything. Well, you get the cattle herd way out on pasture paddock number 9, or way behind the barn. There's a treatment needs to be given either to a calf or a cow for some reason. If they want to be difficult, number one, I have to call upon Dad to come give me a hand, because those cows, they won't tolerate anybody else. Number one, I have to call on a hand. Number two, it's going to eat up a pile of time to get that animal over into the corral system to get locked up and treated. That's a lot of time. And I hate like hell that I'm talking about time here, but it's reality. It's a time saver. And I'm thrilled to death about this whole thing. I really am. I'm not here to sell you a certain product, but they make this simple. My one bit of advice is no colored needles. I will never buy any more. I'm madder than a heart attack that I got all those in the milk house, but it's okay. I'm just going to use them and see what happens. I don't know. They might end up in the garbage if I get frustrated enough. But yeah, just go with the plain. Whatever you do, just don't get a collar on them, because it plays hell. So anyway, yeah, that's about it. Pretty satisfied. It's going to make a world of difference around here when needed, and hopefully that's not too much, but reality says it's going to be used. Already has twice. We're just going to look at the heifer lot here real quick. I got to shut this down, folks. I got to get my button gear. I got a list of things that need to be done here before I retire this evening. Things are getting a little bit mushy. They're not too bad. Some fresh alfalfa. Actually, that's the last of the third crop alfalfa baleage was fed out this morning. And the heifer lot's doing real good. Cows are doing real good. They're on an absolute feeding frenzy right now. I ended up having to feed them an extra bale of dry hay this evening during chore time, just so they can last till, you know, tomorrow morning's feeding. But yeah, all's well. Seeing bare ground up there on the North Hill is just ridiculous. Just cross those fingers. I'm not being a negative Nelly. I'm telling you, we can get a disaster. Cold, chilly weather, I think that's done. I mean, we're talking, you know, 10, 20, 30 below zero. I think that's done. But we could get an absolute disaster of a dumping of a snow yet. you know, this month here, month of March. Boy, that calendar sure felt good to turn over, didn't it? Something about it. But yeah, we can get a blasting in the month of March yet here, or April. I've seen it before. I have never seen this though. I don't recall it. But that's it, folks. I'm not the professional. I've only given 2 treatments so far, but if there's any questions on this stuff, I guess leave a comment or go over to Will Sowers Cattle Co. for a better explanation, a lot better than what I'm giving you. And you know, throw some comments on there that can maybe be asked, and get your answers, because that's what this is. A lot of what this is about is sharing some information and going from there. But that's about it. Hope everybody's doing okay. We'll do a video yet to come here sooner than later, probably even within the next couple of days or so, on that corn planter. Some of the things that I've been doing to it. It's a little bit frustrating, but it's because it's new to me, and that's how I am. I don't like new things, and I hate learning. That's not true. I think most everybody watching understands what I just said right there. It's actually extremely interesting, and I'm extremely excited for this year to come. It's good stuff. Hope everybody's okay. We're going to talk to you sooner than later.